Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, the IITian Coder. And in this video, we will be looking at the most difficult part of MLAPI anyone wants to start with, spawning different players for different clients. Whenever you look onto the documents of MLAPI, you will find that almost every time they have spawned a single player for every client, and that is done using just this default player prefab and spawn create player prefab, that's all. They don't use any scripting, and you won't find it on the net how you can spawn a different player for a different client. And that is when the IITian Coders channel helps you, because I find out things which have no tutorials and I give you tutorials for that. So do hit the subscribe button and let's start with the video. So for that, let us make a blue player and let's create a copy of this. So let's control D. This will be player 1. Let's go in and let's change its color to blue. So now we have two players, one is red and one is player 1, which is blue. We also need to change this network object as it has to have a different player hash. So add component network object, and yeah, we are good to go. So now we have two players, so we need to make a manager script. So let's make a manager script. Okay, so what we will do is, instead of this being starting a host and starting a server, we will create another scene which will actually start, which will be actually taken to when this host is started or this client is started, so it will be easier for us that way. Okay, so I will teach that part in the next video, or okay, let us include that also in this video. Just give me a second. So let us create a simple button and a simple script for that. So for that we will need to create a canvas, and in the canvas we will add a button. So let's create a canvas, UI canvas. In this canvas let's add a button. So button, let's keep the text as start host. So where is the text in this? Oh, host. Let's create another button and let's move them a little apart. So I'm not like customizing the UI currently, it is just for understanding. So we will add a start client here. Now we need to add a script. So create empty. Let's name it manager. Let's add a script, manager. So we will create a new script called manager. Now we will customize this manager script. So first of all, we need to import MLAPI. So we will write using MLAPI. Then this mono behavior change needs to change to network behavior. So now we can access all the network things here. Okay, so now we need a function void, or nonetheless public void host. So in this it will be network manager dot singleton dot start host. So this will be it, and then we will write scene manager. Okay, for that we need using unity engine dot scene management. After this, scene manager dot load scene, and let's name it lobby. Now we will write public void client network manager dot singleton dot start client scene manager dot load scene lobby. Now after we have done this, so okay, I pressed some button. Okay, after we have done this, go back here, create a new scene called lobby. Okay, let's name it lobby. And now we can actually test if it works. So go to network manager and add player 1, default player prefabs, remove this. Let's try running it once and let's see if we have any errors. Oh, okay, we haven't mapped the buttons yet, so just wait for that. So canvas, add on click functionality, put the manager inside, put manager dot host. After we are done with this, hit play. Now that we have hit the play button, let's click on start host. Lobby couldn't be loaded because okay, we haven't yet added it to build settings. So let's open the lobby scene. Let's add it to build settings, add open scenes, and we are done. Let's go to sample scene. Let's hit play, and our game is playing. Let's click on start host, and as you can see, the game is hosted. We have a host running, and the scene is switched to lobby. That's what we wanted. Now we will try to spawn some player. So go to lobby, create an empty object, call it manager, create a new script, spawner, open the new script that we just created, and we will do the same thing, change it to using MLAPI and change it to network behavior. Okay, and it's so easy. So we will just do four things here. First, let's just declare a game object and a player prefab. So what will it be? Public transform prefab1 public transform prefab2. So now after we declared both the prefabs, let me just check if the recording is running. Okay, it's fine. So after we have declared the prefabs here, we need to declare two more things, which are public. It cannot, you can like leave it without being public, but it's fine. Public game object underscore host, public game object underscore client. Now that we have declared the client and the host, we can easily just spawn and get away with what we are doing in this tutorial. So we will write if is host. So this is due to the network behavior and ML API that we used here. So if it is host, it will go into this is block. Otherwise else, it will go into this block. We will just write underscore host equals instantiate. Okay, not the single quotes, instantiate prefab1 comma, just a second, prefab1 comma, we will specify the position, new vector 3, let it be some 13 comma 0 comma 0. You can specify it anything, comma quaternion dot identity. So it will specify the identity. Okay, dot identity and dot game object. So as you can see, there are no errors here. Now we will go on to spawn this. So underscore host dot spawn with ownership, and we are done. Oh, in this we will pass the network manager dot singleton dot client ID. So this will pass the local client ID whose ownership will have on this object, and it will get spawned. So let's save it. Let's copy the same thing and let's paste it. Let's change this to client. Once you get the hang of it, it's very easy to do. You can do it with multiple players, not just two. And everything remains the same. We can just make this 12 and let's make this 14, and let's just try it out. Just one small change, we will add here comma null, comma true, so that they destroy with scene and the other things. You can just check it in the options of spawn with ownership. The rest all remains the same. Actually this doesn't have much effect, but we still wanted to do that. So now in the spawner script, we will add prefab 1 as player 1, prefab 2 as player. We will save this, go to scenes, go to sample scene, and let's see if the project owner has reloaded everything. Reload. Okay, it reloaded everything. So let's click on play and let's test what we have done up till now, if it works or not. So start host, and as you can see, we got here and the player one spawned. We have put the coordinates as random, so it spawned outside of the scene. We can decrease the coordinates later to make them inside the scene. So now we will click on play here. You can actually modify that new vector 3 to cause it to come inside the scene. We will click on start line. Okay, so only server can spawn network objects. Okay, so the concept of RPCs come here. As you can see, for when we click on client, it actually spawned the, like, it connected to the host, it spawned the blue player prefab, and when it went into the spawning of this underscore client equals instantiate equals this, it got an error because we need to use an RPC here. So we will just declare a server RPC, server RPC public void spawn server RPC. Okay, this we need to include using MLAPI dot messaging, and see this became blue. Now public void server RPC u long client ID, and see every all errors vanished. Now we will just control X this, we will paste this here. Instead of this, it will be client ID, and here we will just call a function spawn server RPC this, and we are again done. Let's try it out and check. I will explain to you how the server RPCs and everything work later in the next video throughout the course. But for now, just take it as it is. So let's click on play. Oh, okay, we actually need to change that too, but let's see. Okay, as you can see, it spawned the player and it connected to that. I will just unplay that, and I will unplay this too. So as you can see that when we clicked on server, like when we made the server RPC, everything worked as it should, and earlier it wasn't working and it was coming back to the old screen. So start host, and the player spawns player one clone, which is somewhere here, and when we click on play here, start line, could not get network object for the network behavior. Are you missing a network object component? Okay, so it spawned player one clone with an error too, but that is an error that we will deal with later because It actually isn't an error, but it is a project loaner error. Whenever you kind of run it in the here, it causes an error. I will show you what happens if we build it. So build and run. Let's create a new folder, or let's just build it in MLAPI course only. Just wait for it to build. Okay, so build had two errors. Okay, we couldn't build it there. We'll just build it somewhere else. Doesn't matter actually. Just create a new folder, type it build, select the folder. Okay, sorry for if it is taking too long, but I wanted to go through with all the errors and everything so that you get to know what kind of ML API errors you can encounter and how to correct them. So I will just run this once. I will run this once. I will host it here. I will host it here. And as you can see, the client started, and see, player one clone is there. So with this, we come to the end of the video. Hope you liked it. If you have any doubts, if you have any comments or anything, we can discuss them in the comment section. You cannot of course see red player because if I go here, go to prefabs, red player. So this is not synced between the two, and this it's like it spawned outside of the zone again. So we will need to tweak the vector 3s, but I don't think I need to sh show them in this video. So thank you very much for watching this video. Do hit the subscribe button. Thank you.